He's looking down that
watching
data
that
logger. He's
logger.
glancing up at those exhaust pipes.
Gotta leave, get him spinning, leave soft. Well, guys, right there. That's why he was your runner-up last year.
Track is improving on that lane, that he could get to the throttle a little sooner than Van Hazley
Here
did.
he is. You can watch the smoke go black. He's at like 175 feet wide open, and that right there, I mean, that's all it took. You can see the dirt flying. Look at the guys along the track just standing back, and yeah.
Yeah, he takes the lead in the 3:46.04.
Yeah.
You sit in the corner, cross your fingers, close your eyes.
Yeah.
But this is Brian Ethrop out of Nicky's Nightmare out of Bridgeport, Vermont. So he had a heck of a haul coming in.
Yeah.
So when he's looking down his data logger right now, he's just making sure pressures are there, oil pressure.
He's probably just checking everything, yeah, and then eventually he'll start building the boost, and
He's going through a mental Rolodex of...
if he could ever get excited, he's just very calm and... Oh, boy. Yep, he got me. I told you. I said if there's one that's going to get me, it was going to be Brian. And that was
Nicky's Nightmare.
Welcome, everybody, to Let's Grow Pulling. Jason Schultz here. Special guest tonight, Chase Richardson. And real money wagering, real cash games are here in the sport of truck and tractor pulling. Full pull rolled it out here at Tomah this past weekend. We're going to be doing the same thing in Whitewright, Texas this coming weekend. We're going to have countdown to pull time this Wednesday night at 6 o'clock, talking about that. So, Chase, welcome to Let's Grow Pulling. Thanks for coming on. We got through Tomah. We got 4 out of 5 sessions in. I think if everybody looked at the weather forecast last Wednesday, they would have said no way in hell.
Yeah, shout out to Tomah Budweiser Super Nationals. It feels like anyone that was there felt like they were getting rain all weekend, and you looked up and there's 4 out of 5 sessions that got complete. So shout out to them on the effort that goes into that. That's not a easy thing to do. And thank you for having me on your podcast tonight, Jason.
Yeah, no, and the No Practice podcast had an amazing show last Wednesday night at the bank. Colin Burkholz is checking in. The local guy. He said, the company who donated the track tarp for Tomah, you're the real MVP. Somebody said, Chase, that was the first time they've ever in the history of Tomah covered the track. Is that true? Have you heard that?
I'd heard that as well. If they had did it, it was a long time prior to this year. So I think that's one of the someone that wants to get in a side hustle business, build custom pulling tracks. You can get the logos and all kinds of stuff on there. Because I mean, Chapel Hill's the first one comes to my mind. That's done that since I can remember. And, you know, outside of having it washed out where you can't get through pits, you know, they've had like 2 cancellations in 25 plus years. So the tarps are a thing that I think promoters need to have a must have if they want to have big events.
Yep. So again, Chase Richardson joining us from Full Pull Picks. He doesn't have a bunch of time for me tonight, but I wanted to just get him on here and talk about real money wagering in the sport of truck and tractor pulling. It's a big deal.
That's all the time I need for you, Jason.
Yeah, whatever. Started talking about it at the farm show in February of 2023, and just took a lot of licensing. And like you said, there was no roadmap for any of this, but it's here now. Tomah, I mean, overall, I think it was well received. I had a lot of fans come up to me saying this is really cool. And if you haven't done it yet, fans, you pick 2 pullers that you think are going to finish in the top 3. I was looking at some of the leaderboards and stuff like that, Chase. I actually did good. I won some money in the light mod class. I picked Brent Payne and RJ Simon, and they finished 1 and 3. So that was good. But I lost money in all the other classes I did. So yeah,
it's obviously a a new product, but beyond new, it's not really anything comparable to this in our society. And I've said it a number of times, and anyone that lives in 2024 United States, the climate of gaming and real money contests has changed significantly the last 10 years, and truck and tractor pulling, I think it's no secret, lends itself pretty well to that. And with the ability to have some stake in the game, so to speak, from a fan standpoint, and beyond being a fan there and presence, I think some of the initial free-to-play contests we launched last year proved enough that there's something with this. And obviously it takes time to get stuff going. And honestly, and we're at the ground level of this still. We're in 17 states right now approved, and would anticipate 3 to 4 more in the next month or so, particularly big states with popular truck and tractor pulling fans. So there's a few thousand entries at Tomah. People won money, deposited money that carries over week to week, and the feedback has been really all positive, and people are excited about it. So it's all at the ground level, and as the awareness and knowledge gets out there, I think it's going to kind of expedite itself in terms of popularity.
Right, like right now, fans, I'm at fullpullpicks.com. There's nothing on the website now because we need to get all the outlaw stuff over to the people at Full Pull so they can put the games up for this Friday and Saturday in Whitewright, Texas. But we'll have that. We're going to do a countdown to, a weigh-in show on Wednesday night and announce all the classes for Whitewright with the odds, stuff like that. That's been pretty well received. That's been one thing neat, Chase, that this is kind of pushing forward, is actually getting pullers to register early so you can get the odds made and get it all up. And I think that's been fun for promoters and fans too, to kind of see who's coming to an event, Chase. So I think that's one good thing that's came out of it. So, yeah,
despite what some people think, that was kind of that's been in motion, I think, for the last few years to get to that point.
Mm-hmm.
Every professional motorsport at the highest level advertises who's going to be there and knows who's going to be there well in advance, rather than the prior system of an hour and a half before the event. Anytime there's change, it's sometimes always takes time and is difficult. But the best parallel we can put to it is look at the Farm Machinery Show every year and the amount of engagement and interest it gets behind it by just posting who's invited. Not saying that any of these events will get to that magnitude, maybe one day, but having something to talk about, and pullers themselves have loved it as much as anyone, because when they leave the shop, they know when they're hooking, what class each session, and they can kind of formulate a game plan from their behalf, particularly those teams with multiple vehicles in a class. So yeah, that's one of those things, with or without this, I think was needed to happen, and it's been very well received, at least in the NTPA side at this point.
I agree. And I'm excited for the Outlaws too, asking everybody to get signed up. It's something Kurt's been asking for in a while. They have the Outlaw app. Why not use it, get signed up? And, for Farley had huge numbers, and for the fans to know that they were going to be able to go to Farley and see, that many pro stocks, that many semis, that many mods, that many two-wheelers, it gets people excited about it. I think it's good. It's just good overall top of mind awareness for everybody.
For sure. There's been a few people, not just a couple, like more than a handful that I know personally in conversation, that made their decisions to go to these pulls knowing who's going to be there. And there have been scratches, and that's probably always going to happen. But it's easier to invest, a 4 to 5 hour drive knowing I'm going to see, 18 pro stockers instead of 5 or 6. Obviously I don't think that's came close to that, but from a fan who's willing to make plans and maybe go that extra hour or so trip, I think it's nothing but beneficial. And again, change is sometimes difficult, but the reviews and feedback have been overwhelmingly positive. So that's all good to know.
Agreed. With how many states are you licensed in right now?
17. It be up to 19 probably within the end of next week.
Okay.
And then 3 more additional by the end of July, early August, the way it's looking. So
okay. And that basically means, so like right now, what's one state that you think's coming pretty soon, but it's not quite here yet?
Yeah, I don't really want to disclose that because some of those conversations are ongoing, and it just like a lot of things, it just that needs to kind of stay private. But I will tell you that they are states with, pulling audiences, obviously. And then once we get through the summer 2024 season, the outlook on this is that it's, hopefully pulling will always be a summertime sport, called Memorial Day through mid-September. But as we all know that love the sport, there's pulling that goes on, I think, at least 8 out of 12 months of the year, probably if not more, close to 9. So, it's not going to be to that level of a summertime, but the goal and the ambition is, those out of, from October, November, January, February, March, really kind of elevate those events and those, the ones that already exist by adding these, capabilities to an event. And then beyond that, the 3 to 4 states that will be approved in this year, 22 by the end of the summer season. That number is just going to continue to grow, as this expands and so forth. And every state has different regulation, different ways of entry, and that's really why there's 17 and not all 50 at this point.
How long, Chase, did it take to put all this together? Like, when did you start working on this?
Well, it wasn't all me. There's a couple others that aren't tied to pulling that are heavily involved in it. But I guess what started as an idea was sometime around 2020, and then kind of took a course of its own, and kind of got expedited heavily in late 21. Yeah, late 21, and then, a couple of years of developing this stuff and creating the technology behind it, which, technology is like building a pulling engine, that's never been built. Sometimes that stuff takes time, and there's not any cookie cutter to any of this we're doing. So the whole idea was probably tossed around, I think, around COVID 2020 time.
Okay.
Which seems not that long ago, but it was 4+ years ago.
If you're just joining us,
a reminder of what 2020 was.
Yeah, exactly. You had time. If you're just joining us, Chase Richardson with Full Pull Picks is with us live. Real Money Wagering was launched this past weekend in Tomah. It's going to be available in White, Texas this coming weekend as well, with the Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling. The NTPA and the Outlaws is it an agreement? What do you call that relationship that you have with the Outlaws and the NTPA, Chase, with Full Pull Picks?
Yeah, essentially they're both stakeholders in, in the growth and the revenue that's created from these, similar to a horse race. And I don't know if people know horse racing, but, depending on the amount of money wagered on a horse race determines somewhat how that money is distributed back to jockeys, trainers, and owners and winners of the horse racing. I don't know if you've noticed, but horse races pay a lot more to win than a tractor pull. So don't know how long it's going to take to get that point, but we think through time and getting enough people on board, it's going to lift the overall brand. But essentially, Outlaws and NTPA both are stakeholders in this to see it grow.
I'm just sharing some video from Session 5 from FullPull.live for the fans that want to check it out. This is the Unlimited class. This is Ricky Rose. What does UD Motorsports stand for, Chase? Chuck Hobbs wants to know.
Depends how we do on the track that weekend. For us Saturday night in the Unlimited class, it was Ultimate Dumbasses. But sometimes it's up and down, but it's my dad's company, our family company, we call it that, is UD Contracting, and that's kind of where it's morphed from.
Gotcha.
But it was Ultimate Dumbasses, Ultimate Dumbass Motorsports Saturday.
It wasn't in Hutchinson though when you guys won. What is it when you win?
Up and down.
Up and down. Fair enough. Scott Brown's watching from Tipton, Missouri. If you guys have any questions about Full Pull Picks, please type it in the comments. Let us know if you played some of the games, real money wagering games this past weekend in Tomah. And again, we're going to launch everything, or we're going to roll out everything Wednesday night for you with our weigh-in preview show for the Outlaw event in White, Texas this weekend. Jeff, yes, Jeff, we had some clutch issues on Saturday night, and we got it fixed, or it will be fixed, and we'll be in White, Texas this coming weekend. So it stinks because that was our first trip there with the tractor to Tomah. That's my hour from my house, but I was hoping it would do better, but that's truck and tractor pulling. So that's how it goes. Andy Leonard, what will it take to get the bin buster tractor back on the track? I'm guessing a new chassis, because it looked like it bent it up front. Chase, I know you were busy. I don't know if you ever got to see that run from the bin buster and Colton Whitworth. So.
Yeah, unfortunately, I did at the start line. Never like to see any of that happen to any puller, because we all know how much time, effort, and money goes into this. You know, sometimes fans like it, and obviously, you know, the eyeballs sometimes get brought to the sport through some of these incidents, but you never want to see that happen to anybody, and hope they can get her back going here before long.
Chuck Hobbs says he played all weekend. He's great at picking first and fourth place finishers. Yeah, you need to go. You get to pick 2 competitors you think are going to finish in the top 3. Is that something, Chase? I mean, as I know, this is kind of just phase 1. I've talked to you. Are there going to be a lot of different? You know, you always say it's a lot like horse racing, Jason. Is there going to be a lot more like parlays and things like that, or can you talk about much of that yet, or is it still going to kind of evolve as we go?
Again, it's a unique style of gaming that's not been like this before. Polling's not like any mainstream sport. It's not like horse racing, other than there are multiple entries, and with that, there are some similarities. You know, here within a couple weeks, that the second gameplay will also be launched. Hopefully, sometime mid-July, we're thinking, if not earlier. Where basically it's more of a head-to-head concept. So you take multiple head-to-head entries in a class, so like a mini rod class, for example. You put together, Adam Bauer versus Adam Kessler, who you think is going to win, and so forth. So it'll be based on classes, but there'll be that gameplay coming soon. Then we'll probably sometime towards the end of the summer launch an additional one. We may wait till 2025, but basically through the week you'll be able to draft your roster of entries within each class category. So if there's 6 classes, or like say for instance at Whitewright this weekend, was there 4 classes, 5 classes? Pick one competitor who you're taking on your squad for the Whitewright, and whoever, just like a point system, whoever builds the best roster of finishes, will be paid out accordingly, similar to the payouts of the existing games, but just different ways to keep fans interesting. And selecting one competitor in each class lends itself pretty well to a typical evening session of polling. So, but the head-to-head gameplay will be launched in the next couple of weeks.
Okay, cool. So it'll be at all the Grand National and TPA events, and then some select outlaw events. Is that kind of the plan right now?
Yeah, definitely. Want to get to a place in time where, you'll be able to do this anytime there's a poll going on anywhere. That's probably not going to be obviously this year, but as we all know, in the summertime, there's a lot of regional hooks, NTPA regional hooks during the week. There's other levels of polling that take place, during the week or anytime during the year, and want to eventually get where if there's an event going on somewhere, particularly, maybe not necessarily some of these bigger outlaw and NTPA events on the weekends, but during the week and outside the busy season, you'll be able to, put your skin in the game for those events.
The one thing I'm excited about that I've heard you talk about on the No Practice podcast and different things is the amount of eyeballs that real money wagering is going to bring to the sport, Chase. I know you're working with some marketing companies and things like that. You're going to bring a little bunch of non-pulling fans, if you will, because our sport, we're not in the, it is the greatest motorsport on earth. We say that all the time, but we're not as big as NHRA. We're not as big as NASCAR. And I talk about this all the time, I really feel like this is going to catapult us to there just from some of the marketing standpoint. But what kind of just rough numbers have you heard? And here's going to be the Bin Buster Wild Ride, everybody playing while Chase and I talk. This was Saturday night up in Tomah, Wisconsin on fullpoll.live. But just numbers wise, what do you get excited about? Just 'cause I know you love the sport, Chase, as much as the rest of us. And that's why you're getting involved with this. But what kind of numbers? I don't have to give numbers, but talk about that overall, the amount of new fans that are coming. What could that do for sponsorship, or what's your vision with that?
Yeah, I mean, polling's not going to get as big as the NBA or NFL, or I hope I'm wrong. If it did one day, that'd be amazing. But I don't think that's realistic to say right now, or make it quite a mainstream sport. But what I can say is, and again, there's no blueprint for any of this. All you can go off of is kind of assumptions and some other proof of concepts. And in 2018, when PASPA repealed its Supreme Court ruling, which basically opened legal sports betting and wagering in our country wide open. Since then, the NFL and I can these stocks, you can Google all this stuff. It's pretty well public knowledge. But since then, the NFL, I think, has seen like a 25% increase in their viewership and their in stadium attendance since then. Not saying it's because of that, but since 2018, and the NBA is the one that's really spiked. I think it's like up to almost 30% increase since pre-2018 in merchandise sales and viewership and attendance. So I don't know how to answer your question right now, what it'll do for pulling, but for pretty well every mainstream sport there is out there, there's been major benefits reaped from that. So I think there's some of that can be easily transferred to pulling in with essentially, like I said, the groups like the NTPA and Outlaw taking this on as a stakeholder. I think the ceiling's even higher than ever before. And, motorsports pulling's unique. And I've said this in the No Practice podcast, pulling's unique because, there's one person going at a time, and in the motorsports world, there's no other sport where it's speed and time are irrelevant. And then you throw in the factor, there's no real practice to the sport. We know how competitive all this stuff is. There's just a lot of things that lend itself very well to gaming and wagering. So, but we'll see where it goes. Obviously, it's there's enough proof in the pudding thus far of what we're doing that I think everything's gonna trend upward. We just gotta grow and do this one step at a time.
And Andy Leonard's watching on YouTube. Thank you for that, Chase. I know my question sucked, but I was trying to get you to. I just know that the growth potential with all of this is what I get excited about, the eyeballs on the sport. Andy Leonard watching on YouTube says Tyler and Adam did an awesome job announcing the poll. Yes, they did. They can have that announcer's booth anytime they want. It was fun to have them sitting there with Darren Hartwell. And then Chase, you came in after you guys pulled in the Unlimited class. And it was fun to have the No Practice podcast there running the announcer's booth on Saturday night. So
it was going well till I showed up. I think Andy hit it on the head when he said Tyler and Adam. He didn't mention me.
Yeah, he's not lying. He's not lying. So
it's a unique dynamic in there. It's pretty cool.
Yep. For all of you looking for class winner videos, we have all those posted on Full Pull Facebook and Full Pull YouTube. Full Pull TikTok is full, as well as Full Pull Instagram. So all the class videos, and we're starting to post out new videos every day. Again, we want you on the live stream. We want you in the stands, and that's really what this is about, to help grow this, to knock it out here. So Jason Rock, good question. Are the odds driven by data-driven predictions based on how each tractor is doing, pole position, et cetera, or is it driven by where the money is landing? How does that work, Chase?
It's a great question. And our gameplay, as I said, is unique. And like horse racing, it's not a user versus the house scenario like sports betting is, where when Jason Schultz is making his wager, he's going against DraftKings or FanDuel, whoever he's making that bet with. Where in the Full Pull Picks concept, it's peer to peer, meaning that Jason Schultz is wagering against the other few thousand people that are making entries in that same contest. It's the same thing that's used in horse racing. So to answer your question, Jason, the odds are driven by where the money is being wagered, the entry amounts, and the amount of money that's being pulled on each individual available entry. So very good question, though.
Yep. Jason's a super fan. Watches a lot of podcasts. Thank you for that, Jason. Are tuning in from Minnesota, Cody, I can never say your guys' last name, but they're 4-wheel drive mod truck pullers. It was awesome to see our new truck featured on the Full Pull Facebook page. You're very welcome, Cody. We have an awesome team that posts a lot of great content on there, and let us know what you want more of. We're going to make it happen for you. So the new stickers and wrap on the purple Ironman sled is amazing. What William Lundberg's talking about their fans is the brand new Ironman sled of Bowers is sponsored by the National Tractor Pulling Championship. So that sled will be out there. So it's neat to see all that as well.
He may be a little bit biased with that name, though.
Yeah, he is. We are actually going to do a Full Pull a full pull countdown to pull time from his campsite. I haven't told you this yet. So William is he's our guy. He watches every podcast. He watches all the No Practice podcasts, and he loves it. He lives for Bowling Green. We've had conversations off the air, and he's a great guy. So he wants a full. OJ has owed him a full pull banner, I think, for 9 months, Chase, and he keeps asking me where it is. So maybe I'll just have to take care of that for him. So
we'll get it delivered to him. I'm sure he'll have some adult beverages he can exchange.
Yeah, we'll figure something out. Something out. Again, if you're just joining us, the numbers are growing as the show goes. Now that everybody realizes I got one of the No Practice podcast guys on my podcast. It's a lot of fun.
I'm glad we're spiking your numbers, but they're gonna be largely disappointed if they don't see Adam and Tyler on there.
That's okay. I could text them quick and get them on here. So
yeah, I'll be hearing from them.
Chuck, thanks for helping announce at Farley. Chuck helped us announce at Farley. That was great. Worked in the production team there. I better shave and buy more beer. Yes, William, you better. You got to look good. Showing some Tomah. Showing this is session 5 of Tomah. And with your paid subscription fans, you get to go back and watch all these. With your paid subscription, you get to go back and watch Farley and Hutch and Benson and all of Tomah. 4 out of the 5 sessions got in. This is a smoking deal if you cannot be at the events at fullpull.live. Chase, so White Right Texas is coming week for the Outlaws. And then after that, do you want to talk about Arcola or any of that yet? It's what we're going to be doing there. Can we talk about that tonight?
No, not yet. I think there's a few details getting worked out.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Yeah, but it'll be out there tomorrow.
There's some cool stuff coming for Arcola, guys. So just hang in there on that. What else? Anybody have any questions for Chase? Please throw them in the comments.
I'm just break news when I'm allowed, not when I feel like doing it like some people that I'm on this podcast with.
Who'd they? What? Say that again.
I like to make announcements when I get permission, not when I want to, like some people on this podcast I'm on here with.
That was a true statement. I can't even argue with it.
Look at that interview. That had to be awesome right there. I saw that guy in the crowd.
This is a tractor pull and pimp, everybody. I interviewed him Saturday night on the live stream. He's a super fan of pulling, and I made him kiss his little dollar chain there. It was a lot of fun. The trackside announcer is fun. We can do winter interviews there and stuff like that. Who was driving Redline Fever Saturday night? Zach Dagenhart of the Dagenhart Dig and Fever team drove Redline Fever Saturday night. Esden Lane said he fired himself out after he went out of bounds on Friday. So he said he let Zach Dagenhart drive it. So Jeff, I love this comment. Drivers as commentators is the way to go. Tyler and the guys were great. Yeah, Jeff, we the last couple of weeks we've been just kicking around some different ideas. We originally started with 2 announcers in the booth. Now we've been trying to just put 1 announcer in the booth or a host, and then bringing in winners and different people throughout there. I brought a whole bunch of different people in Thursday night. I didn't try to bring in 90,000 people there on the other sessions, but we had Bruce Law, Randy from Performance Pros in there. And then for me, the highlight was to bring I got to interview Ned Wallitzer. I got to announce with him for a while on Saturday during the day. He's the new president of WPI. That was pretty awesome. And then having to see Adam, Chase, and Tyler all sitting in the announcer's booth on Saturday night made us all smile. We got a ton of great feedback from everybody. Even Chase, people liked having Chase in there on Saturday night. So that Wicked team is very tough in the mini class. Yes, they are. They are running right now.
Definitely.
Jeff, question for you. Obviously, you watch fullpull.live, and we want to keep you guys happy. Do you want us to bring winners in? Like, I put a Facebook post out, Chase. I don't know if I told you this on Thursday. I said, who do you want in the booth tonight? And we had more votes for Tom LaRue. I think it was actually all of his kids, but I did go get Tom LaRue, and I brought him into the booth on Thursday night, and I think he did a good job. But he wanted to talk about Billy Beers. I haven't gone back and reviewed the whole thing yet, but I think he was a lot of fun. This is Chase. You're with fullpull.live. You're allowing us to kind of put our pulling heroes in front of us that you normally don't get to see, and I think that's a great way to do it. And they get to talk about the sport that they've literally spent their entire lives in doing. So it's been fun.
Yeah, it's definitely a different way of viewing the sport, but so far it's been, you're never going to please everyone, and change is always difficult, but the overwhelming response has been amazing. And, look forward to continuing to grow that as well with the great team that we have in place, even yourself included, Jason.
Thank you for that compliment, Chase. I was low on self-esteem. He said, Jason comes back with another good question. Jason Rock from Michigan. You mentioned picking a team of players, Chase. Would that be similar to daily fantasy sports gambling?
Well, yes, it would be similar to that. That's a good parallel. But obviously, pooling's not the NFL, and pooling's not NASCAR or anything else. So there's some unique and cool stuff you can do that other sports just don't have the capability to do. Just to be honest.
Nope, makes sense. Brian Klagora says, I'm watching tonight because of Chase. Laugh out loud. Love you, Jason, though. No Practice podcast is great. It is great. It is super funny. It's super entertaining. When you talk to Adam and Tyler when they were doing the show there, and I heard Adam and Tyler talk a little bit before you came in, Chase, about being humorous, entertaining, and exposing the fans a little bit. How did the whole thing at the bank go down? Obviously, you get a lot more requests to do live shows like that when the three of you are together. You're not always together all the time because Tyler runs a lot with PPL. But it was neat to have all three of you together doing that. And the games that you guys were doing, Renee Theobald and what was that basketball? They had to start with their knees and then work it up. Who thinks of this stuff?
Yeah, there's those guys we're the cool part. All this is really none of us have changed or done anything different than what we normally do. We just schedule a time every other Wednesday to do it in front of people on on camera. It's all natural, organic, everyone being themselves. Hell, the Friday night rain out, if we'd had cameras there for just a mass amount of entertainment, that pulling would probably be as big as the NFL today. But luckily some people don't carry cameras with them everywhere. But all is just storytelling for the personalities, the people, and all the great things that make pulling go. And that's we have a lot of fun. We act silly and cut up and do fun stuff. But at the end of the day, I think I don't think it's the awareness level around pulling and helping to spread the word. The same thing you do with beer money pulling. I mean, our sport's not big enough, nor does it have the following enough for any of us to be at odds with one another. And like me not like you not like me, and think we're all like going after something. Like everyone needs to work together to kind of make all this go, and we've made that very clear, and we try to with as many people as we can. And it's the same deal with Tyler and Adam feel the same as I do about it, and obviously it's turned into a little more than what we thought it was going to be, because we didn't plan to even do this. I don't know if we've shared this, but I did, like, once we got to Memorial Day, we weren't going to do any more podcasts until out of season. But the viewership and the demands and the people that follow this, like, it was almost like if we don't do this, we're letting people down. And I'm not saying we're that important, but and just the amount of people that showed up there the other day when that bar, the bank there, reaching out to us, wanting to pay us to come do that podcast there. I mean, that's just stuff that's cool, and already looking forward to and have some creative ideas to do it again, at least a couple more times this summer. So, it's we all want the same thing. So I always use the reference, if we all pull the same rope, we'll probably win the tug of war. So that's the podcast has been a lot of fun.
Andy Leonard says, are Bruce and Tyler actually father and son, because their accents are totally different?
So are their personalities. But they're both great guys, good friends. But they are, like a lot of father sons, they are very different, but they work well together, and obviously are very good competitors.
Will there be options to make bets based on the whole season, such as year-end points winners or weekend winners, Chase?
For sure. And actually starting, I mentioned earlier the kind of out of season aspect of pulling, like, this is going to help keep people interested somewhat, and make early season predictions and so forth. So yes, all that is on the blueprint, and definitely on what we plan to do moving in the off season.
We can bring Dennis Tramick and Brian Tramick into the we know them well. They won.
They had a great win Saturday.
Yes, I think I saw a post that Dan Mayer had. He said that was a 101st winner, I think, up in Tomah and Pro Stock. So that's pretty cool. You look at 49 years at Tomah.
He's the rain man. He's the rain man. He's not Dan Mayer.
He's the rain man.
Yeah.
Jeff, appreciate the knowledge, commentary, drivers that give some of the inside aspects to the tractor, truck, track, and tech. Yeah, no, it's RJ Simon did an amazing job up in Hutch, and then having those guys all in there with them, it's a lot of fun. And we're definitely going to be doing more of that. And I want to know who you want. Just post, we want to know. Post on Facebook, shoot us a comment. There's 3 or 4, 5, 6 people kind of help with all the social media, and every Rogo's checking comments, in the inbox. Let us know who you want to hear on the show. Who do you want to hear on FullPull.live? But we like bringing winners in. We like bringing in people. A lot of times, though, fans, we wait for the polling order, because what we don't want to do is bring in somebody. We don't want somebody to not do well at the poll because they had to come in and talk to us. That's one thing that Chase has been adamant about. Like, leave the guys alone and the gals alone until you know for sure that they can come in. So, and like Simon's, they're in every single class, so it's hard to sneak them in. But having RJ in the booth up in Hutchinson, that was awesome. And then, he was winning the semi-truck class, and then Brian Ellithorpe beat him with the last hook. And RJ said he got me. He could tell from the announcement, from inside the booth there. Yeah, but I appreciate these comments, Jeff. It's good feedback for our team to do all of that. Chuck Hobbs, just an FYI, I talked to Mike Evans yesterday. His back is pretty bruised and sore, but otherwise okay. Said his mini will be repaired in a couple weeks. Yeah, let me swing over to FullPull.live and bring up. That was session 1. This is one of the Simons tractors right now. If you have any more questions for Chase, I have Chase for a few more minutes, fans. I got to let him go. He's got another call tonight. What's really cool, Chase, was that the Yahoo Finance published a press release. I don't know if you got a chance to see that, and I saw a couple other big, like, national, what am I looking for? Internet companies, Chase, or news. It made national news that truck and tractor pulling is gambling. That's cool, buddy. How did that happen?
Yeah, as I mentioned, there's a couple others involved in this along with me that aren't tied directly to pulling. And, it's kind of it's been a big ordeal building this technology and creating this, believe it or not, in the gaming world. So through some of the contacts and people that the guys that are with me in this know, you'd be surprised how many people in the gaming space are really interested in this, and it's created a lot of chatter and talk. And I've had to do other appearances besides the Beer Money Let's Grow Pulling one, even though I prefer this one over those. So, you get the right people involved, it kind of spreads the word. And as I said, as this grows, I think you'll continue to see more of that stuff organically. Right.
I'm up in Canada, fans. My internet's really bad. I'm sitting in a cabin up at Lake Wabigoon in Dryden, Ontario. So my internet's really bad. I'm just glad I still have the show here. So give me a second. I'm trying to find Mike Evans's run.
They let you into another country?
Yeah, they let me right through the border. Check my passport and everything. So it was all good.
Wow.
Were mini rods first or second class Thursday night, Chase? Do you remember?
I believe
second. They followed. What track were you guys? Were on the grandstand track?
I can't remember, honestly.
Was it before two-wheelers or after two-wheelers? I think before.
Two-wheel drive. They were at the same time on the other opposite track.
I want to show everybody this video.
He was pretty early in the class.
There we go. Like I said, fans, my internet's really slow. I'm working on Wi-Fi on my phone on my hotspot up in Canada. But here's Bruce Law was right out there helping. Man, that guy's a good dude. He's always willing to help. Willie Bricker, did you get my message? Please answer. They might be drilling soybeans in Missouri. I don't know what your question there, Willie. Do you have young blood, Dennis Stramick from Williamsburg, Missouri, or Brian? I don't quite understand your question there, Willie. Yes. Do we know them? Yes. Are they on the show tonight? No.
So you want you to get them on right now?
Oh, I can't get them on right now. They're busy.
They're drilling beans.
Yep. Chuck Hobbs. Chase, will you be campaigning Insanity Team vehicles all season? Talk about that a little bit.
Oh, Brian McDonald's.
Yep.
Yeah. Brian is a good friend of myself and my dad, and Brian Farms is a wheat farmer in Maryland. And as we all know, a farming harvest decides when it's time to go, and he had to stay home and harvest this past week and asked me to drive his both of his vehicles, and the two-wheel drive is his as well. I don't know when we'll get them in the seat or not, but the next outing for that is Brandenburg, Kentucky, the weekend of Fort Recovery, which mini rods are at. So we got to do some planning, but we'll cross that bridge when we see water. But no, I will not be campaigning on both all year.
What was your best finish this weekend, Chase, on the minis or the two-wheeler?
I got third place Saturday with two-wheel drive and got sixth place both nights in mini rod.
So Ned Wallitzer, the president of WPI, came in and he did Saturday, and he talked about Noonan racing engines, and I didn't realize that's what you had. Is that something? He said they're really big in drag racing. Do you not see as many Noonans, or is that just? Can you talk about that a little bit? Like, it's a type of a Hemi. You know, I'm a diesel guy, but he was talking about your Noonans, and he was talking about bore and 4.8 and 4.9 and all that technical stuff.
Yeah, it's similar for spark plug and Hemi people. Like a Boyd Performance Hemi is a Brad Anderson engine at heart, but they do their own version of it. And we buy our shells engines from Noonan, like a Boyd Performance does with the Brad Anderson, and build our own heads with Chuck Ford, CFH Chuck Ford out of Alabama. So they're actually our engines, but they're Noonan at the core, if that makes sense.
Yep. It sure does. Well, you've given me 15 more minutes than you said you were going to, Chase. So thank you. I owe you for this.
I didn't put any deadlines. Said I had to go by 9 Central. But if
that's
you really
right.
needed me on here, I would stay. But I know your viewership's going to go crazy when I get off here.
We're going to be at 9 o'clock. We're going to talk to 9 o'clock. We're going to talk to Brian Massetti from California. They got 2 big pulls this weekend. I'm going to be in White Wright, Texas. We're going to be promoting full pull picks down there, as well as outlawpulling.tv. So I got a lot of good things going on. I'm going to rewind Mike's crazy runs. What do you think of that turbo tractor? It sounds like it's got a lot of RPMs and a bunch of potential, Chase. Have guys tried turbos in the mini class before over the years? Or
They have. And I'll tell you what, from a power standpoint, that thing makes a ton of power. And if someone can get it where you can keep the vehicle under control, I think all of us supercharger guys would be in trouble, to be honest with you. But
yeah,
it's not a lack of power issue, as you can probably see why the vehicle got upset. So kudos to him. And I'm always a fan of people that try to do stuff outside the box and innovate, and that's not an easy ask. It's particularly not easy in this class, in the mini rod class, because you can end up on your side or upside down like he did when you're trying new stuff. So a ton of respect for Mike and his team for trying to do stuff that hasn't been done before.
Yeah, Robert Miner says, want to see some water come to South Dakota and Iowa. It's crazy. Yeah, shout out to everybody, especially our friends in the Outlaws in Rock Valley. They're going through some terrible stuff there. So,
yeah, that's a bad deal.
Dave Schultz watching the big blue shirt from Bowling Green, talking about all helping each other. That's why you can't see a lot of the blue shirts helping at other polls. I always say we don't spectate well. That's funny, Dave. That is funny.
I'd agree.
But he's right. Brian's back. Chase, can you talk about turning down the hook on Saturday night on the Unlimited foursome and your thinking? Just curious, not being critical, just curious what you were thinking.
It's a great question, and I don't mind critical statements or questions at any time. My dad was obviously the driver, and he was on the brake really hard. And had he kept the run, I think we'd end up fourth, or no, we'd end up fifth, I think. But like, as a driver, he knew more so than me, but I knew he was on his brake hard. And when you're on the brake that hard, it kills your run. So that's why we chose to drop it, and thought all of our stuff could hold up well in a pull off, but it didn't. We lost a belt. A belt came off the back engine, at 200 feet, and kind of shut it down from there. But it left the line great, and he was going to make a lap. But sometimes those things happen, and hindsight's 20/20. But we thought it was the right move to make, and it was not. But that happens.
Yep. No, the Pullen family is large, and it's fun to have these questions. It's fun what podcasting has done in these live shows like this to bring it. That's what I love, our countdown to pull times. We do those 2 hours before the show. We always try to find a storyline from the night before. On the first night, we try to get a promoter on there, and maybe somebody that's done well in the points or, done very well at that facility. Shout out to Miles Krieger and Darren Hartwell and Phil Kelly, PK, for doing that. It was fun to see PK. He's been announcing a lot this year with us, and I got to drive his super farm up at Tomah. Got 5th place, so it was fun announcing for him as he was coming down the track on Saturday during the day. And it was great to see a lot of the fans. If you had a chance to stop by the Full Pull trailer, and you showed us that you had downloaded the app, we were giving out free T-shirts. Again, we're showing the replay of Mike Evans' wild ride. It's no joke in session 1 on Thursday night, the turbo-powered machine there out of Wisconsin. And Chuck commented earlier that he'll be back out in a couple weeks. I know he's excited to really try to get that thing figured out. So the next No Practice podcast, then, are you going to have one on the 4th of July, Chase? What's that look like for a date? Let me look. July 3rd would be the next one if you keep with your every other week.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be July 3rd. The guys had some pretty good ideas. We're in a group chat and not just talk about podcasts. We are good friends and have some ideas. It's going to be next Wednesday, though. It will not be live on site. I don't think we're ready for a back-to-back yet, but we'll be doing one of those again soon.
Was it a good time? Did you guys stay out that night and have a good time at the bar, at the bank there?
Don't ask questions you know the answer to, Jason.
Just trying to be a good interviewer,
Of course, yeah.
Here comes Joey Frazier, the Edge of Sundown truck, one of the Petro trucks out of stable. Ton of 2-wheel drive trucks, ton of 4-wheel drive trucks. Mini rods was the next biggest class up there in Tomah. The weather really, you guys, the fact that Tomah got this in was amazing. They had the 80% chance of rain basically every session all day. And I know it scared a lot of fans away, but shout out to that crew that made it happen. They rolled out the Schreier Cup earlier. That's something they put together. Next year, that's for the unlimited class, like the points winner for the weekend for Diesel Super Stocks this year won the Schreier Cup. That was won by Kent Payne and the Super Rooster. And Colin Ross was in the driver's seat after his monster pass on Friday during the day, and then he checked the tractor over and didn't like what he saw, and he just put it in the trailer. But if you were in Tomah, thank you for coming. It's an awesome event. The promoters appreciate it. And if you played along at fullpullpicks.com, we're just getting started. It's going to be a lot of fun. Some of the questions that you brought tonight to Chase have been great. I appreciate you doing that. Andy Leonard, sled operators seem to be struggling with getting the sled set with all the power the Unlimiteds are producing. I don't think so. I just think the first pass, Joe went 387, and I think they reset it right away, didn't they? After that, Chase, I don't remember.
He was the second run. No.
He was.
Yeah. No, you know what? He was the third run. You don't see that very often, but when they go 380 some, I think it becomes more of a safety issue. It felt bad for Joe because Joe made a picture-perfect run, and we've seen Joe do that before, but it was just one of those things, unfortunately. And I think the top three, when everyone came back, was within a foot or so of each other. So it made a good competition, and you got to see a few Unlimiteds run twice, which you don't see very often.
Yeah. How many Grand National hooks did the Unlimited have, Chase, this year? Do you know off the top of your head?
I believe there's 13 total.
13.
Yeah.
Okay. I got Chase for about 5 more minutes, guys, and I got to let him go. He's got to jump on another call. Put your questions up there for 4-Pull Picks or UD Motorsports or the No Practice podcast. Jeff Heidemann says, here's a breakaway to Phil Kelly on the left, Chris Schreier, the son of Dave Schreier, on the right. We brought him into the booth on Thursday night. Jeff Heidemann says, Tomah hands down the best track crew ever. Shout out to those guys. Chad Stevens says, one of the best Tomah tracks I can ever remember. So that's cool. So, hey, Massetti, we're coming to live stream your poll in November, okay? Full poll is, just so you know. So
looking forward to it.
Yeah, you can. Chase is right above you if you want to say hi to him. So
Hey, Chase.
How you doing, Brian?
Good. How about you?
Oh, great. Jason's great at awkward intros, so nice to meet you too.
Thanks.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No, we'll be out for the Golden State Invitational on my birthday this year. I'm going to be 49, and we're going to celebrate 2 awesome days of pulling out in California. And we're gonna live stream it on fullpull.live for all you fans, and I'm sure there'll be some full pull picks involved as well. Brian has himself a light mod now, Chase, so he could be coming out and pulling too. And then your dad has a light mod now too, so maybe we could do a little Richardson versus Massetti there.
Yeah, that's November seems like 10 years from now, so we'll talk about it in October. But yeah, I've never been a California day in my life, so what better way than to do it for a tractor pull.
It'd be perfect.
Yeah. Cool.
We're even going to try to run the 2-wheel drive class. So.
Don't give my dad any ideas. I'll be in a truck ride out there sometime in November, knowing him. But no, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. Our buddy Wayne Purser came out there a couple years ago.
He did. He was here for our first one.
Yeah. We miss having Wayne out. We'll hopefully see him here before long.
What happened to Phipps mod this weekend? Did it run? Phipps new mod? Chase the light mod, do you know? Or is it a big mod?
I saw it in the pits. Forgive me because I didn't pay attention or even notice, to be honest with you. It was there, though, I'm pretty sure.
Who were the top winners for Tomah combo winners? You know, Mike, I'll look all that up. I don't remember. I know Kent Payne got Diesel Super because I was there when they gave out the Schreier Cup. So Doug Borth says 2-wheeler and twin engine mod to Cali. It's going, Doug. You already know. So it's all good.
Make Jason drive it out there.
Chase, I like to throw things out there. Brian, Chase likes it when I talk about things I'm not supposed to talk about. So it's all good.
I'm sure he does. He
never does that.
So, well, good. Well, Mr. Richardson, I'm going to let you go. I know you got to jump on another call. Thank you for coming on tonight. Thank you for bringing you and your team, Real Money Wagering, to the sport of truck and tractor pulling. We're excited to see what it can do and bring more eyeballs and some more money back to the pullers. That's what I'm excited about, Chase. So,
yeah, definitely. And sign up. It's available on the Full Pull app. You can get to the new platform directly from there or through a web browser, fullpullpicks.com. There'll be events going on this weekend and pretty well all summer long. There'll be stuff continuous as we grow and expand this. And if you got questions anytime, our email support@fullpull.us. We've had some communication this weekend. And overall, it seems to be working well for everyone, but some people's do have glitches here and there. So please reach out. And Jason, thanks for having me on. Brian, nice to see you.
You too.
I'm sure I'll probably see you in California.
That sounds good. Looking forward to it.
All right, guys.
Thanks Chase. Have a good night.
Yeah, take care.
Chase Richardson, everybody. Massetti, my man. What's up, buddy?
Not too much about you.
I'm up in Canada. I'm in a fishing cabin. My internet sucks. So.
All right. We were in Canada Saturday night. Saturday night we were in Canada.
Okay. Rick Crumwright, he's a crew member takes a lick in Bunnings. Hate to say this, but without asking to say this, Lisa Bunnings broke her ankle when we got home unloading the stuff. Keep her and Steve in your prayers, please. Yes, we will do that, Rick. That's bad luck.
That's no good.
Yeah. We have our first spammer on the show tonight, Smith Williams. She clearly looks like a Smith Williams, don't you think, Brian? So
yeah, it looks like the Williams that I know.
Yep, it's all good. It's all good. Let me get my banner set up here. I'm kind of working on location up here in California, so we need to talk about Willits and Lakeport. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Do you let me play the light mod class from Tomah if you don't mind while we're talking? Is that cool?
Oh yeah, of course.
Let me. Brent Payne won that. I actually won money on that class, Massetti. You've been kind of proud of me.
Very proud of you.
Yeah. How's the weather out in California, friend?
Oh, it's fantastic. About 105. Rain this afternoon. Right, that's something that we're not used to. It's over 100 degrees, and then all this thunder, and it starts raining. That sucks. But it's all right.
So I'm gonna put up my overlay. Give me a second here, and then I want you to talk about these and what's going on this weekend out in MLM Motorsports. Right now, there it is.
That's Willits Frontier Days. We are excited to be going back up to Willits again. We've probably been going up there for 12 years or more. The small town, Northern California, beautiful area. This weekend kicks off their Frontier Days, which is a week long, and it culminates with the big 4th of July celebration. There's a lot of rodeo events after we're done. But we are there Friday at 6 p.m. and we'll pull for a few hours. And then they have a big street dance with a live band right there 100 feet away from the pull track. And it's really a cool event. We're looking forward to going back up there with Fred and Marcy Berry, who pull with us in the pro modified class, just like old baby Huey right there. And then that'll be Friday. A lot of people are going to be spending the night there, so we're looking to have a good time. Maybe have a little potluck dinner after the pull. So that should be pretty great. I know we have some northern trucks coming down from Oregon. They've already registered. Chris will be coming all the way from Nevada. We got a lot in that 4-wheel drive class. We're also going to, of course, run 2 tractor classes, the 7,400 and the 6,000 pound tractors. How do the runs out there compare to other associations? Well, we have good equipment out here. Some of the equipment can go compete on any level. So I don't know. I mean, we don't have all the best, but there's 2 new 4-engine mods that came from the Shelton camp that are out here in California. So that's kind of nice. We've got Donnie Fagundes also has a 4-engine mod. Korea's run 3 engines. Jared Britsky's running 4. So in our big mod class, it's a hard hitting class. Our light mods, or maybe our mediums, are 7,400 pound. We've got 4 or 5 good tractors in that class that could win it at any time. The light mods, the 6,000 pounders, there's 5 or 6 in that class that, again, any given night, it could be anybody's. So I'm very proud of the equipment we have out here and the events we put on. I think things are in a good spot.
Good deal. I'm looking for session 4 right now. Sorry, Brian.
That's okay.
I'm going to put up our next one, Lakeport. Is that cool?
Yeah,
Talk about that a little bit.
So it's been probably 8 years or so since we've been to Lakeport. We're looking forward to working with the Speedway again this year. This is a standalone event, just like the Willits event. Lakeport's about 50 miles from Willits, so when they contacted me, it was a no-brainer to try to make this deal work. It's much better for our pullers to have 2 pulls that close, because it's quite a haul for most of our competitors to get up there. So we are looking forward to going to Lakeport on Saturday. Again, that one starts at 6. I know that at Lakeport Speedway, they have tickets for sale online already. You can buy them at the gate also. But that will be another hard-hitting show. Pretty much everybody that's going to go to Willits will just make the trip Saturday morning down to Lakeport. Lakeport is, I believe, the home of Jason Ingham with the half-breed wheel standing truck. So we're excited. I know you've met him on one of these shows, but
yeah,
great guy. So we're looking forward to pulling in his backyard.
Good stuff. Good stuff. If you're just joining us, we're on hour number 2. I'm live with Brian Massetti right now. My buddy, and he's a big promoter out in California. Talk about his couple events here. We're just going to show some video from Tomah. Brian also has a twin engine mod, and those are the first 2 classes that ran on Saturday during the day in session 4. Brian, there was an 80% chance of rain, buddy, all weekend, and it just rained in between sessions. They covered the track. We pulled the tarp off and we got them in. Like, we got this whole session in but one, Brian. It was crazy.
Oh, wow. Man, what's the deal with this year? All these big events are getting hit with rain. Something's wrong.
Yeah, the Midwest is messed up right now. I'm not going to lie to you. So,
yeah, I hate to see that.
It is.
Too much work and effort and planning on everybody's part. Promoters, the venue, the pullers for traveling and whatnot. And sucks when Mother Nature wins and we can't pull.
No, it does. And then last year, we had a drought. I mean, you guys, I feel like you're always dry in California. At least that's what you always tell me.
Mm-hmm.
But man, it was wild.
Yeah.
It was wild. So Willits is Willits, right?
Yes.
California.
Yep.
That's Friday, June 28th.
28th, 6 p.m.
6 p.m. I'm just making my banner right now.
Oh, okay.
I'm up in Canada. I don't have my normal team, so I'm kind of winging it like the old days.
I hear you.
And then
you're doing a fine job.
Lakeport, California. We just went live on your page on MLM Motorsports, so the Californians are starting to come in now. So we're gonna start having some fun. So Lakeport, California, Saturday, June 29th.
Yep.
At what time?
6
p.m. So last time we had you on, we were talking about Stockton.
Stockton was little over a week ago. Fantastic event. Just this year they moved it. We had talked. They moved it to Friday from Saturday because the Ag Fest auctions end on Saturday. So they tried it out, and I think it was a huge success for them. The crowd was great, and I think we had 70 hooks there, which is fantastic. Josh, the guy with the AgFest guy that we were working for, he called me in the daytime and he says, "How many tractors are we going to have?" I said, "I don't know, maybe 15, 20." And he says, "Okay." He said, "Some lady called and wanted to know how many tractors." And I said, "I've never heard anybody ask that, but okay." So afterwards, he says, "Hey, that lady that called me, she got a hold of me after the show and said she just moved out here from Oklahoma and they love tractor pulling. And so this is their first event they'd ever seen out here. And she says, this is one of the best shows we've ever seen. It was well ran." And so it just made me feel good that, gives us a little more validity when somebody comes in from the outside and sees our show and says it was a good show. So
yeah, heck yeah. John Bohr says MLM Pullers Convoy. Absolutely.
Yeah, we're going to take up some highway space on Saturday morning if everybody goes together.
Cody says, only reason I ask, Cody asked you a question about how competitive the vehicles are. Cody's got a 4-wheel drive truck that could pull Pro Mod with you guys. Only reason I ask is because I know your 4-wheel drive guys have drove to play with us, and someday I'd like to return the favor and come play with them. Plus, it gives me a good reason to go to California and cross that state off my list. So, that a boy.
Well, we need to. Rules. I gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cody, quit drinking. Quit drinking and asking questions on the podcast. He's probably still drunk from this weekend if I know Cody well enough. So.
Well, rule-wise, I believe that it's pretty much the same.
Cody runs NTPA, so he's a 650 or less.
He would definitely be legal to run out here. As far we don't really have a cubic inch limit, but most guys are 650 or under because they have had the desire to or have gone and run NTPA before. But we may have to talk to Cody, and he may have to get invited to our Golden State Invitational. Maybe Jason's birthday party is what I should.
Yeah, that's. Thank you. I'd like to. We're gonna. I'm gonna try to get some naming rights to this.
Yeah,
we'll talk about it a little bit.
Naming rights are available. I mean, for a set price, we'll call it whatever the hell you want.
Dude, if rates go down, I'm in. But right now, no. Hey, I was sober enough to pull on Friday afternoon. Other than that, who knows? Yeah, no. Tomah was a blast this past weekend. It was just good to see everybody up there at Tomah. Matthew Arsetti says, "Wish I could make Willits. That's a fun pull."
Yeah. Matthew's been up there. I think he's still got engine problems. I think it got hurt early in the year, or maybe it's still hurt from last year. I don't remember.
His diesel truck is Purple Haze, right?
Yes, he's the guy that rebuilt the rear end. I think the first year in the pits, They had to rebuild the rear end.
Yeah. Fans, we're showing session 4 of Tomah, courtesy of FullPull.live. I'm showing the light mod class here because Mr. Massetti owns one of these. And this is me teasing him, trying to get him to come out here. So
I'd love to.
What'd you say, bud?
I would love to.
Yep. Chuck Hobbs Slims in Illinois. There is April planted corn here just about the tassel. Yeah, it's just crazy, Brian. This is one of the craziest springs I've seen in quite a while. So
how early is that? When should that happen?
Oh, I think normally they try to, I think I always hear everybody wants to be planted by May 10th. And I hear the worst, you have to be in by June 9th, because we do get fall and winter and there's so many days in a growing season as it is. But yeah. I'm telling you, April thought it was going to be dry and boom, it wasn't. So,
yeah. Hey, we were talking about Stockton for a second there. I'd like to give a little shout out to some of the class winners if we could.
Yeah, let's do it. Are they on your Facebook page by any chance? Are they listed there?
All of the classes are on the graphics with all the class results are on MLM's Facebook page.
Okay. You mind if I pull those up quick?
Oh no, that's fine. I wrote them down just to read off some of the winners, but we could do that. That shows off some of Christy's handiwork too.
Yeah, we got to keep Christy happy.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for joining me tonight, buddy. I really didn't give you a choice. I just kind of set you a message.
I appreciate it.
Heard it
Oh,
at
shit.
DSI last year, split the block in half.
Well, you've got till November to get it back together. Well, we don't discriminate out here, Cody. We accept everyone. So Dodges, Ford, Chevys, whatever. We probably would keep the Toyotas out. Finding it there.
Yep. Yeah. Just give me a second. Like, I'm just on my laptop. Normally I have a little more room to play here. There you go, boss.
There
Stock
it is.
diesels first.
So stock diesel looks like Chris Flores was our winner. Oh shit, that was close. 263.74 to 263.25. That's pretty good. I don't really know. Our stock diesel class is typically a local, more regional. Local guys aren't going to travel real far for a stock diesel class. Alan Babel did bring his alcohol super out, and he made a nice pass.
Yeah, I bet that got the crowd excited.
Well, so these guys, so Alan and the Super Farm guys went and hit the other pull that was going on about an hour and a half up the road, and they pulled real early there, and then they all convoyed down and pulled in Stockton. So unfortunately, it was towards the end of the show, and a lot of the crowd had left. But there was still enough there that they appreciated it. But it was a good pass. It hooked up.
Fans in the Midwest fans in the Midwest will recognize that tractor. They've really kind of made its name at Louisville. That's what we've all seen it out here as much. But that tractor lives in California. So
right.
Stockton Ag Fest, Super Farms.
Super Farm. All 5 of these guys, including Alan, went up and pulled there in Placerville, and then they came down and just rolled right in. It was kind of cool sitting in the sled watching all these big haulers roll in. It's kind of like the parade of semis coming right on into the pits and unloaded, and hell, they didn't even have to warm up. They were still warm from the last one.
I was gonna say.
Yeah. Hopefully
no ether.
Cool off. But Jeff Perry, who's also a name probably recognized by some, Jeff and his brother Tim Perry run their supers. I think they run with PPL every once in a while. But he is back for more tractor, took the win away from Brent Chippenary. That was a close one too, only a foot there. But
the sled operator must be all right out there.
We take what we can get. So that was our Super Farm class. And our heavy hot farms, Joe Williams, who's John's brother-in-law, he drove the Oliver tractor, and apparently the sled operator messed up the first 2 guys because Brad told me they wanted to go to the right side of the track because nobody had gone there. Well, it turns out it was kind of shitty, but Brad and John went over there, and then I moved over to the left for Joe, and it worked well for Joe. So I apologize to John and Brad.
Hey, they're your
two guys that helped me the most all year long. And anyways, so our work stock diesel class, Derek O'Brien was driving. I don't believe that's his truck. I think belongs to another guy. But anyways, Derek owns the shop, DSS Motorsports, that works on that truck. And he had a hell of a pass there, put 20 feet on the second place. So that was a good one. Our country modifieds, we had 3 there, obviously, and John Mayfield took that class. Mad Professor is the Modesto JC truck, and they had a nice pass too, but congratulations to John there. In our Pro Stock Diesel class, it was good to see these guys out. Jim Mulrooney, who's Mulrooney Auction Company, very, very good friend of the major leagues, with his Hammer Down truck. And then Everett finally got his motor back from Hazley's after it's been about 2 years. So they got their truck put back together, and he made a good pass. So we're excited to see that class a little more this year.
Yeah, and Dustin ran really good at GSI 2 last year, if I remember correctly. So
well, yeah, I don't remember if Dustin drove, but I think they won their class last year at GSI. I think they won the ring. I don't remember.
Again, fans, if you're just joining us, I'm live with Brian Massetti. I'm up in Canada, Lake Wabigoon, just outside of Dryden, Ontario, fishing. I'm flying to Texas on Thursday for Whitewright, Texas with the Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Association. The first hour tonight, we had Chase Richardson on for fullpullpicks.com. Real Money Wagering is here. And then I brought on Brian Massetti, owner, promoter of MLM Motorsports. I got Willits down there on the bottom of the screen. You can see Willits, California this Friday and Lakeport on Saturday. As a puller, if you can't have a 2-night pull, it's great, Brian, when you can have pulls that aren't terribly far between Friday and Saturday. And I know you're trying to do that for a lot of your guys. That's pretty neat.
I love it. Whenever we can. We love doing that.
Did I get all the classes? But we got way more.
Oh, we got a few more.
I did.
Yeah, we haven't done. We did that one.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Don't fire me, buddy.
No, we're good. So our 8,000-pound heavy modifieds. Kevin Moore he's the one that has the 2 Shelton tractors. So the Speed Tech Motorsports Renegade, that was a good pass. The track got rough a little bit on the right side, and these guys were they were moving, but then hitting these big, I don't know, it was a bump or something. The sled was getting all upset, but they still got down there pretty good. And then Jeremy Correa was there in the middle, and Kevin's other tractor was right behind Jeremy. So we're looking forward to that class developing more this year and next. Our 7,400-pound class, the old Steve with the Italian Stallion, kind of put it on everybody again.
You want to talk about that at all, or not really? Or
that's a bad machine. I tell you what, if anybody that gets close to that tractor or does, runs with them is doing something right. Between that one and their single engine, I've never seen them not run good. They just every time they're out there, and they got a hell of a crew. And Brant Sullivan is kind of their head guy, and everything just it always works. So
I get to see Brant this weekend in Whitewright.
Yeah, I think he's leaving early tomorrow morning. He said, but I mean, 20 feet behind that tractor is not that bad.
No,
and our tractor, the whip tended to want to go left, so we figured a few things out, and we feel like we got it going straight, and he kind of went to the right and went into this soft stuff. And Kevin says, "Man, I watched the GoPro," and he says, "It didn't go to the right. I turned right." I said, "Okay." He says, "I thought the track was better over there." I said, "Well, it wasn't." So, anyways, we're gonna get it figured out. We'll keep working on it. Our limited pro stock class, Junior Silvera with the Mad Cow, and I think he also won our first event in Chowchilla. But he had a hell of a good pass. So that's a good class. So our pro modified truck class has been awesome this year. We had 12 here. I think we had 12 in Chowchilla. You see the top of the list was Spike Reeve with Rags, which that's their original 4-wheel drive in the Reeve family, like way back original. And so Spike drives that one. I think the last time he drove it was in Stockton a year ago, and he won there with it. Garrett, who's Spike's son, drove the Triple Throwdown, the blue Chevy. That was the first time he ever made a pass at an event. And he drove by all those seasoned veterans and got second place. So that was kind of exciting for the family. So congratulations to the Reeves. And then hell, Spike got fourth. And Donnie was in the top 10, so that's not bad. So,
not at all. Yours Yellow Fever. I was looking for Yellow Fever. Okay, I found it.
Yeah, she's up there. Everybody had good passes that night.
Yep.
Our 6,000 super stocks, Kenny Biseglia came down and drove their family truck, Lomanducci, and boy, he got it by a foot there over Greg, who had his other 2 trucks.
So Greg really took a lot of time to name his trucks, pulling out and putting in.
Yeah. He did.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. No, there's a couple guys that Brian Schrammick named his red super stock Red, so it's just kind of funny. You have some of those every now and then out here as well. Yep. Somebody's watching in from Sweden. Hello, Sweden.
Nice.
So what's Spielman trying to say there? Is he drinking again? And touched in on Facebook. Massetti.
It's possible.
Rags is the Stockton Ag. I'm not sure what he means.
OG.
OG. Oh, my
OG.
bad. I'm tired.
You know, when you go to Compton, you talk about the OGs or whatever.
You're taking me to Compton. I'm not.
Yeah, we're going
Spielman.
on your birthday. We'll do a
your
shop
truck.
tour down there. We'll do a shop tour. So I think we get. Is there any more?
I saw a squirrel.
Oh, that's okay. Okay, so there's a single engine tractor class. Steve Milanesio again took the win there. And then Mark Zons with Bailout, and the Leinfelders, and the old Mustang Legacy. And I think it had a problem. Mustang Legacy did. I don't know. They'll figure it out. Our 55 Superstock, Sherry Benson drove, and that might have been her first time. Normally Lee drives. She had a heck of a pass. So that was pretty cool. Russell Steele he just left to go to Minnesota or somewhere to go run with his son that lives back there. But he had a good pass with his pickup.
I didn't know you had a super mod class.
Well, he normally runs pro modified, but that motor got hurt, so he had a blower motor, so he put it in and ran it.
Cool.
It's a little different. Then our Econo modifieds, Austin Terra with Tearing It Up, took that one. We had this 6,500 pound. This guy was a 2-wheel drive Toyota Tundra, but we let him pull anyways. So
2-wheel drive Tundi. I like it.
Yeah. 55 street class. Aaron Williams. We mentioned Joe Williams, who won in the Hot Farms. This is his son. That's the first time he drove, and that's actually Brad Griffin's truck that he drove. He just snuck that one out.
Yeah, he did. Like
107
inch
measuring.
Yeah.
That might have been our first class. Yep.
There we go. They're getting some pictures.
So anyways, thanks for going through those. Give those guys some.
Yeah.
Oh, this is we can talk about that one.
Yeah, you want to talk about that?
Oh, hell yeah, we'll talk about that.
I don't see Melanesios. Why weren't Melanesios there, I wonder? Are they scared of you?
Well, I think they were just giving us, they wanted us to get a little confidence. No, Steve had a little medical deal before that, so he had to take a little time off and get better.
Good deal.
But he's all good now.
Good deal. Again, talking with Brian Massetti, owner of MLM Motorsports, 2 big events this weekend in California. Willits, California, Friday night, and then Lakeport, California, Saturday night. Let's go through the schedule, Brian, and then we'll wrap this up a little bit, and then we'll hit our events one more time. I'm gonna bring up your website if you don't mind.
Sure.
If anybody's got any questions for Brian, please type them into the comments. But friends, we're gonna have real money wagering at GSI this year, so that is gonna be fun. We'll have a class lineup ahead of time, make some odds. It's gonna be a good time. I'm looking forward to it. John Bohr says, shout out to the duck who's been thrashing on Baby Huey since it broke in Stockton.
Yes. I knew he broke a rear end and a drive line and a U-joint, but then he texted he's looking for some ring and pinion parts. Messaged with him this morning, and I think he was getting everything he needed. So, that's right. Something else we got to mention. Saturday night is the second of our 4-event mini-series for the Major League mini-series. Where the pro modified class purse is bumped up. Thank you to some very good friends of the major leagues. And so we're looking forward to spreading a little extra money around to some pullers. Help them out with some fuel money, maybe.
Heck yeah. I almost got it ready, Brian. Give me a second. Again, fans, normally I'm a little quicker on the switch here, but I'm up in Canada on our yearly fishing trip with our family. Drove up here from Tomah yesterday morning, so heading down to Whitewright, Texas. I fly into Dallas Thursday night at 8:15. So,
did you catch any fish yet?
No, I've been working all day. I haven't even got in the boat yet, but some of the people in our cabin won. So,
good.
All right, so I'm going to buzz through these.
Cool.
Friday, June 28th, 6 p.m., Frontier Days, Willits, California. Scales and registration open 1 to 4. Please arrive no later than 3 p.m. 7,400 and 6,000 pound mod tractors, 6,200 pound pro mods, hot farms, pro stock diesels, limited pro stocks, work stock diesels, 6,000 supers, economy mods, and all stock and street classes. Again, that's this Willits. This Friday in Willits, Frontier Days, Willits, California. Then they're going to buzz over to Lakeport Speedway. Scales and registers open 1 to 4. Again, be there by 3. 7,400 and 6,000 pound mods, 6,200 pro mods, hot farm, pro stock diesel, limited pro, work stock diesel, 6,000 super stock, economy mods, and all stock and street classes. Your stock and street classes, do you get much of a following, or do you kind of pull in the locals from stuff like that?
Locals. For the stock and street, it's mostly the locals. Which I still believe that puts people in the seats too. You know, they're going to see the guy they know that they went to school with, or that works at the hardware store, or whatever. I mean, I see all big stuff too, but I believe the locals are a good draw.
Yep. Ukiah, California, Saturday, August 3rd. That's a Redwood Empire Fair.
Yep.
And then Lassen County Truck and Tractor Pull in Susanville, California, Saturday, August 10th. Tri-County Fair in Winnemucca, Nevada, Sunday, September 1st. Saturday, September 7th, West Coast Diesels out of Santa Rosa, California. Saturday, September 28th, the Susan Memorial Truck Show in Turlock, California. Then Modesto Junior College in Modesto, California, Saturday, October 12th. November 8th and 9th, the Golden State Invitational in Madera, California.
We'll change that to the Jason Schultz birthday party invitational.
I think you should. So.
Yeah. We'll work on the logo and everything.
Tractor pulling against Corona, Sweden. Does Donnie Fagundes pull modifieds with you all? Gerald Holt wants to know.
He does. He heard a motor a month or two ago, and he had to actually replace the block. And I know there were some delays in that, so he's missed the last couple. But yes, he does. He's got the 4-engine. He has a 4-engine mod.
And then Andy Leonard says there's a good fishing lake by Lakeport, they say. So
it's called Clear Lake, and it is right. Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know about fishing, but yes, Clear Lake is a pretty good sized lake.
Good deal. And then Fred Ray says can't wait to get the truck out. So.
Yep. So Fred is undergoing some big changes on their pickup this year, and I don't know if it'll be ready this year or next year, but it'll be ready. It'll be cool. Fred and Lanny have been big helps to us, helping line up vehicles and get them out on the track. And we appreciate them coming to help, even though their truck's not there. So.
Yep. Well, takes a team. Takes a team, as you know. So.
Oh, for sure.
Well, good. Well, do you got anything else left tonight, Brian?
No, I appreciate you letting me come on, and we're looking forward to 2 great events this weekend. I think Christy's working on something to put out for the pullers that are going to stay in Willits on Friday night. We're going to have a little potluck afterwards and just hang out and enjoy each other and relax a little bit. And then we'll hit the road Saturday and do our thing in Lakeport again.
Awesome. So I'm going to let you go, Brian. Thanks for jumping on night. Say hi to the family. Say hi to everybody. And thanks for watching Let's Go Pulling. Have a good night, everybody.
Thanks. Good night.
Let's make some noise. Good running. John Deere, Animal Deep Iowa coming up. We got one right behind you.